National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa has accused government of dragging its feet in resolving the electricity tariff crisis that has crippled the ferrochrome industry. The union has warned of possible mass action if urgent steps are not taken. This follows recent meetings between Electricity Minister Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa and senior Eskom executives, as well as CEOs from Glencore, Samancco and Alma Investment, where proposals for a special electricity tariff to revive mothballed smelters were discussed. Joining us now for more on this is spokesperson for Numsa, Phakamile Hlubi-Majola. Phakamile, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. Talk to us, what role are you playing in, I suppose, the resolution and resolving of this electricity tariff crisis?
Good afternoon, Thabo, and good afternoon to your listeners. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Sorry, good afternoon to your viewers. So the role that has really been to get the stakeholders in the room to make sure that they understand what is at stake. From early on, once it became very clear to us that there was a challenge with the electricity tariff at Glencore, which was causing and having a deep impact on Glencore's profits, the union got involved in trying to engage government in a way to try and find if it was possible for Eskom to actually receive a tariff which would be more affordable, a tariff which would not collapse them as they are claiming financially. In our Section 189 consultations, for example, they have said that the cost of electricity is the minimum that they're paying is about 40% or more of their production costs. And it's reaching a point where it is unsustainable. Yeah. So Numsa has been very active in trying to assist on this matter. I don't know if you're aware that last year, Numsa participated in a picket to the Rustenburg local municipality where we demanded that they must reduce the electricity tariff because this problem has resulted in the closure of smelters and already 2,000 jobs have been lost.
Are you using this particular matter of the tariffs as a bargaining chip? In other words, have you got assurance from the employer that, well, look, if we can get a better tariff, we will not retrench, we will save jobs?
We are hoping that that will be the result because we are playing a very active role in trying to find a solution. As things stand right now, we have already been served with Section 189 notices. In fact, what we say in our statement is that we're disappointed in the fact that both Alma Investment and Glencore have not withdrawn their Section 189 notices, in spite of the fact that as a union, we have played this role of trying to negotiate a more favorable tariff for them. As of this week, they actually began the consultations with the CCMA on job cuts. And just from those two companies alone, we're looking at over 2,100 jobs that could potentially be lost. So it is disappointing for us that industry does not seem to see the work that we are doing and has not taken has not basically taken a decision to withdraw the Section 189, even though we are actually on their side trying to ensure that workers do not find themselves out of work as a result of these tariffs that they're forced to pay.
Yeah, we're told that we are in for an even higher tariff than what was previously calculated because apparently there was a mistake in the calculation. That's for the normal consumer. So what's in the proposal? What is Samancco, Glencore and Alma Investment proposing that they pay as a tariff compared to what the normal consumer is paying?
It would be hard for me to answer that. I'm not sure what it is that they proposed to government. That meeting that happened on the 19th of September was a meeting of the leaders in the ferrochrome industry. Numsa was not part of that meeting, so I'm not sure what it was that they proposed to government that they were willing to pay. But what I can say is that last year when we were engaged on this topic, we actually met with Numsa and tried to persuade them to reduce the tariff so that Glencore would not have to pay such a high tariff. At some point, it did seem like there was some agreement on that. But our challenge right now, Thabo, is that even though when you listen to the electricity minister, he says that the meeting went well. When you listen to industry players, they also confirm that the meeting went well. No decision has been taken at this point on this matter. And that is what's concerning us. Because if that decision is not taken, then I can tell you now that at least 2,100 people are going to lose their jobs at both Alma Investments and at Glencore.
Yeah. So you're saying Cabinet has already approved, is that the correct word, that intervention a month ago?
Yes.
What did Cabinet say, and why? What was the expectation that then would follow as far as action from the minister?
Our understanding is that Cabinet has approved this. So we are saying we don't understand why is the minister taking so long to implement. And that is what we've written in our statement. We're calling on the minister to explain the delay in implementing a decision which, as we understand it, has already been approved by Cabinet.
So in your view, there is nothing stopping government at this particular point from giving these companies a special tariff?
Absolutely. And the longer they delay, it then justifies these companies from proceeding with their plans to retrench. Because in the absence of a decision, they're going to assume that no decision has been taken. Therefore, the conditions that they were complaining about continue. Therefore, they have no choice but to then proceed with the retrenchments as planned.
And now you are saying then in the absence of action, you are now pushing, or are you pushing your members towards embarking on a rolling mass action?
Our members have made it clear that this is what they want. We don't force members to do anything. We are a worker-controlled union. Our members have been saying for months now that they want to embark on rolling mass action over this issue. And they have been giving government an opportunity to take action. And now they've reached a point of frustration. As a union, we can try and explain, and we've been trying to explain that there's processes involved, and obviously that the decision-making process has delayed, but members are no longer willing to listen to excuses. So at some point, this rolling mass action will take place. And this is why, as a union, we're calling on government to take this decision, because we are told that Cabinet has already approved this. So we don't understand what the delay is at this point.
Yeah. Some point Eskom was compared to the rest of the world, global competitors, as the cheapest form of electricity that would have been supplied to consumers. You've done your own comparison, and you're saying now, today, Eskom is a different kettle of fish compared to global competitors.
Yes, and that's partly because of, Numsa has consistently said for years now that we are making a mistake by not investing in Eskom, by not viewing Eskom as a strategic state-owned entity. Eskom is being privatized, and the cost of privatization is exactly what we're discussing now. The fact that we are now facing high levels of job cuts because the tariff has become so exceedingly expensive because Eskom is being privatized is the price that you pay when you continuously pursue a neoliberal agenda. China has heavily subsidized the cost of energy to the point where energy is so cheap for industry that China is now the manufacturing capital of the world. I mean, they literally are. They've replaced any other industrial country. Every country is feeling the impact of the power of Chinese manufacturing. And the reason they've done that is because the state has involved itself. It intervened in the economy. Yeah. And guaranteed cheap energy for industry and for domestic use, and now they're benefiting from that. And that is what you must do if you want to be a dominant in industrialization. If you want to boost manufacturing, that's what you have to do. You cannot privatize an energy, which is something that is really, really important. It's really important for economic growth, because to do so, frankly, is foolish. And now we are reaping the rewards, if you can say. We were reaping the consequences of that type of foolish decision making, where we listened to the advice we were given by international financial institutions that said we must privatize Eskom. We've begun that process. Now energy is expensive, and now we're paying a huge cost for it in terms of deindustrialization and job losses.
Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, appreciate your time, spokesperson for Numsa.